Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Woodgrain in winter. This is the last day of Woodgrain in winter for the month. And because, you know, we're going into a new month and a whole new year. This is also a traveling journal video. I skipped November's. It is coming to you, but yeah, I just haven't gotten it voiced, you guys, with all of the December holiday stuff going on and trying to keep up with Advent and Woodgrain in winter. It'll be coming soon. Anyway, this is a traveling journal project that I'm doing in case you missed it in the earlier, not February, September, October time frame. I am part of a group of 12 people. We each have a journal. And basically if we all sat in a circle, we would pass it one person to the right or left, would take your pick, whichever direction you like. But we're all going the same direction, passing it to the next person. And then the following month, we pass the journal that we have to the next person. Hopefully that makes sense. So every month I have somebody else's journal, and my journal is being passed from person to person each month. So when I get it back in next September, I will have 12 I'll have 12 completely different pages done by 12 people. One of them will be my own. Anyway, so I have this one this month, which is, I can't remember the size of it. I want to say it's 7 by 10 or somewhere around in there. Maybe a little smaller. Might be 6 by 8. You guys, that's awful. But I did this early in the month because our journals have to be sent on the 15th of the month. And I don't remember what the size was of her journal. But anyway, it is a spiral bound. It's actually really easy to work in. The paper's nice and thick. But I am going to be using some Woodgrain holiday paper in it. The theme for this month was holiday traditions. And I showed you at the beginning, I have a beautiful die from Spellbinders that has this gorgeous door in it. And I made this door, and I left this in here even though the video's super long. A lot of die cutting. I did not leave all the die cutting in, but I'm using a whole bunch of different dies here. You can see these two Tim Holtz Sizzix dies that have a poinsettia type of a look to them. I'm going to say that's what they are. There's holly in them as well. And I'm going to use those. I've pulled out a whole bunch of reds from my scrap bin. And I made the door twice because the first time I made it, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking the door was going to open and shut, but really it's the paper that the door is on that I want to open and shut because the door is quite narrow if I just put that on the middle of the page. Also, I had put some foam in it to give it some structure and to give it a little bit of dimension. But it really made the layout super thick. I was thinking I would make a shaker pocket in the window, but I decided not to use the foam at the end of the day. It just made it too thick with the journal being ring bound and whatnot. And also being only the third layout in this book. Let's see, sorry, fourth. So we have the original persons, we have October, November, and mine's December. So fourth person. I wanted to leave some room for other people to do their pages in it after me and not, you know, have it look like an alligator mouth when it was all done, when I was done with it. So hopefully that makes sense. Alligator mouth meaning the spine is really tight, but the book won't shut, which is how most of my albums look, but kind of jam-packed. Anyway, so I am making this little folding door. And I don't know what I was thinking. This took me so long to figure out. I really feel like I should have probably just gone to bed at this point and started over in the morning because I glued those two papers together. And if you know anything about gluing papers together and then having them open and shut, they don't open and shut very well because the papers need to be able to move a little bit. So attaching them in the way that I was attaching them just was not the right way to do it. But it took me a little bit and I kind of figured it out. I do have a couple of old paper pads. This is a Tim Holtz paper pad that I'm using, that white, red, and that greenish color, which kind of matches the leaves that are in the background paper. The background paper, the wood veneer, is from Cartabella, and I really, really liked it, and I thought it went really well. I also have this tag. You see it's kind of off to the right hand side of the journal. I was going for something that kind of matched that, because in the front of her journal she has a spot for each person to take a tag and decorate it, and that's the tag that I chose. It matched the best to my layout, and it's going to go back in the front pocket that she has on one of the earlier pages. It's not the front of the book, it's one of the earlier page pockets. But yeah, so it's going to get put in there, but it's going to get decorated to kind of match my page. But I wanted to kind of have something that kind of corresponded between the tag and the page. So I'm going with this kind of, I don't even know what you call this color. Really faded teal. I don't know. It's not really sage. It's a little more blue than sage. So anyway, you can see here I'm playing around with this flap that I'm making for the door to go onto. And yeah, having a really big struggle with that. I don't know. Like I said, I should have gone to bed and tackled it the next morning. I definitely was not at my best, but I also needed to get it done and out the door because I kind of waited to the last minute, and that was in part due to travels at the end of November, because this had to be sent by December 15th. It was sent to me November 15th, so I got it right about the time frame when I was getting ready to go to Idaho. Well, about a week, the week before. So yeah, before I was going up there for Thanksgiving to visit my family, and I had a lot to do before then because it was kind of I don't want to say a last minute trip decision, but our plan had not been to go. And then when we decided about a week and a half before, I decided, oh, well, I'm going. So instead of shipping Christmas presents, I can go and have take the Christmas presents with me. So I needed to finish my Christmas shopping for family in Idaho. I also needed to get that wrapped, and we had a bunch of stuff that we had to do just before as well. I also had a day crop that I had committed to. Yeah, it just was all coming at me at one time. So yeah, it was a lot, you guys. So I waited until I got back, and then December started right as I came back, and that was Advent and Woodgrain and Winter. And so this kind of got put on the back burner until the weekend before, or the weekend before it needed to be mailed out. So staying up late to finish it. So here I am still playing around with this dumb door idea. It does come out at the end of the day, but I don't know, you guys. I don't know what was going on. I left the struggle in here. I left 29, almost 30 minutes of video. I'm like 2 seconds short of 30 minutes of video, but I left it all in here because it took me a long time. Definitely not working at my best, but it was a big process. I've never done I don't know if we're calling this a junk journal, an art journal. It's basically 2 small scrapbook pages. I'm not really sure at this point. I know the definitions between them, but when I keep getting journals, they all still look like kind of like scrapbook pages, but maybe, I don't know. They don't look like they're done with junk. I will say that. When I look up junk journals online, I see a lot of wrappers from your meals and stuff that might have been in your trash bin. Not that it's trash, but like junk mail, that kind of stuff that you would normally put in your recycle bin or things like that. This was definitely not the case here. I'm not using anything that could have been put in my recycle bin. I'm definitely not using anything that came from a fast food place or a wrapper from my candy bar or anything like that. But I keep seeing things like that in junk journals. I also see a lot of old book pages, old envelopes and that kind of thing. And so maybe there's a little bit more of embracing that in here, even though this is not all junk. I will say that those paper bags, though, the little paper bags, they're not junk, but they are super old. They are leftovers from my daughter's wedding. So um, they're not decorated like they were for the wedding or anything, but we had a huge assortment of them, or a huge pile of them left over. And so they're sitting here, and I guess I can consider those junk maybe. I don't know. So I would love to know in the comments what you think a junk journal is. Is this considered a junk journal? Is it just a mini scrapbook page? Yeah. Tell me what you think. I'm also really kind of interested in knowing the difference between an art journal and a junk journal, or an altered book and a junk journal, because an altered book seems very similar. I do know like an art journal definitely has like more artistic versus crafty, and I'm not saying that in a negative way at all, but maybe there's more mixed media, or there's some drawing involved, or something like that. I would love to do like an art journal, but I don't have that drawing ability, but I might enjoy doing some very random like abstract painting type of stuff in there, and then doing like small little collage type things. That would be kind of art journaly in my opinion. But yeah, I'm just curious what you would classify this page as when it all is said and done. So anyway, I have got my little flap done. I decided to go with washi tape because that seemed like the most flexible and easy to work with. And it's solving all of my problems in life at this moment in time when it comes to getting this done. I did glue this right in because there's no page protectors or anything like that. So I glued it right in. I really love the wood grain on it. It's one of my favorite wood grain papers for the holidays because it's not overly busy. It's busy, but it's not overly busy, but I think it's really pretty. And so I'm just pulling colors from that. You could see the back page that she's got a bunch of stickers on it. I did close the book to hold everything in place while I was working on cleaning up a couple of items. Yeah, so the front pages don't all look like that. So yeah. Anyway, so I am folding these down because I know I want to put 4 of them on the other side, the right-hand page. I was thinking of trying to build it like a gift. So it would be a big square block, and then there would be like a big bow at the top, and those 4 pieces would represent the pieces in between the ribbon. It doesn't end up that way, but that was where my thought process was when I first had this idea. And you will see me pull out some ribbon, but I don't end up using it for that purpose. I end up using it to do a bunch of tags. I'm going to be cutting apart quite a few different things to go inside of these bags. I am inking them up. You can see I folded them over. I did not glue the fold all the way down. I glued the sides of the fold, and then I glued the bottom of the bag and the sides. So she could use them as additional pockets if she wants to add more tags or other items. I did not include a ton. I included 2 in each one. So maybe that's a ton. I don't know. And then you saw me inking things up here using a leftover piece of paper. I just stuck it inside the bag so that I could ink the edge of the short edge of the opening of the bag. You can see here where I am just creating kind of a pocket in the back there. And these are not going to be put together, but I'm just using those bulldog clips to hold everything, or binder clips, whatever those are called, to hold everything while the glue sets up. And then I have actually a couple more sheets of this paper. So I toyed around with using the offcut from the left-hand side so that the wood grain goes the same direction, but decided not to use that. I decided to go with the piece that was a bigger, and then have it go the opposing direction, and that's just fine. It's what I had left over. And I'm happy with the way that actually came out. It looks good in my opinion. So hopefully you think it looks good also. And then I'm going to worry about my books, and not my books, my bags. I did go back and add this little piece to the edge just because my bags were a hair shy of reaching as far across as the wood grain up top. If I had thought about it, I would have kind of measured those bags first, but the left-hand page comes in so far, so I wanted the right-hand page to come in so far and be matching. And so, yeah, I did end up using that little extra piece and it worked out just fine. And then I am going to go ahead and ink up all of my edges. I am using some, I think I've got ground espresso out at the moment. Looks like that's what is up top at the top of my screen there. Just to give it a little bit more depth and dimension. And then I almost tucked these bags or glued all the way across the top of these bags. And then I did realize, oh shoot, I need to leave those open so I can create more pockets if she wants. And then also tuck the bags that go above them right behind. So you can see there's plenty of space for her to tuck the bags in or bags. I keep saying bags. Tuck more pieces of paper in if she wants to, but I am going to be adding quite a few. Again, I'm using this Tim Holtz paper. I think it's an old paper pad from Ideology that is, it's got all of the seasons in it. And it works perfect for this particular layout. It's got that same blue in it. It's got all the reds and greens. It's very grungy. I do know that she likes a grungy look. Because her month, she chose something that was, she wanted a vintage look for her month, and I can't remember what the topic was, but it hasn't come up yet. So I'm guessing if she was asking for a vintage look for her month, she's going to want a vintage or going to enjoy a vintage look in her album. So I am pretty happy with the way that this comes out. This paper pad has been in my stash. Oh, probably, I'm going to say maybe a decade. I don't even know. It's been there a long time. I have one last cabinet over at my mom's house where my son is at. And it's one like double door cabinet under a counter that has I think the last of my stuff in it. And I did pull a bunch of stuff out of it, and he has filled it up with some other stuff that had been on the shelf. So every so often I go over and get more stuff and try to either purge it or merge it into what I have here, or it goes to my mom up in Idaho. It's been a very long process. Thankfully, he is over there, and it's not something that I've had to take on with a lot of urgency. So I'm grateful for that. And so, yeah, so I just pulled this out probably, I'm going to say in the last 2 months, it has made it to my house. So I have not had it at my house for very long. I kind of actually even forgot it was over there. I just happened to be going through that cabinet going, okay, what can I pull out what is even in here? Because I hadn't even been through that cabinet in a long time. What is even in here that I need to go through and pull out that I can either, take to Idaho or merge into my room. And so I came across this one and I went, oh my goodness, this is going to be perfect for these layouts that I've got coming up that involve some grunge for different months. Oh, here you can see where she's got the tags and stuff, and she's asked people to do a tag for each of their months. So anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited to be using this paper, and I'm excited that it's here because she's not the only one who prefers a grungy look. So I am thrilled that I came across it because it's something that I can use. It's something in my stash, and I don't have to go and buy anything. I don't have to grunge anything up myself. It's already there for me. But you can see I've cut a bunch of things apart, and I am tucking them in. I am actually mixing them with some 49 and Market stuff. You can see the tag here with the diagonal stripes on it is a 49 and Market. I'm adding some white things here and there. There is white on the opposing page between the flowers, having a little bit of white on them, and part of the door having some white on it. I think mixing the white with the grunge is just fine. I know a lot of people have difficulty merging or using cream and white. It doesn't bother me at all. I just treat cream as any other color. You know, pretend it's yellow, and if you use it in one spot, use it in another spot, and it will all come out fine. And that's just my theory. If it's something that is difficult for you, maybe try thinking about it that way and give it a go and see what happens. See if it makes it easier for you to think of it that way. But it doesn't bother me at all. So I actually really quite enjoy the brightness that the white gives to it, even though I am going to ink up all of my edges. Now I am inking up the dies that I went ahead and cut. I did not make you sit through all of that because it was a very time-consuming process to ink up leaves and red paper to make the different poinsettia layers and make them have dimension. All of these papers again are out of my scrap bin. I didn't pull any new papers for any of that. I do think I might have used the 6x6 portion out of one of those Tim Holtz pads because one side has like the turquoisey teal, I don't even know, that bluish color, blue-green color. The cream that's on the door there and the red. And so a couple of those sheets in that pad had them as a 6x6 square on a 12x12 paper. So I might have used some of that, but majority of it is all from my scrap bin, including all of that green that's off to the right hand side. And I just pulled varying colors of green. There's lots of shades of green in the background paper, and I felt like that goes well as long as I mix them around and don't put like all of the yellowy green on one page and all of the blue-green blue-green pieces on the other page. It's going to be fine. I'm not going to worry about it as long as they're mixed. So I did use some metallic paper to do the mail slot on the door and the doorknob. I used some mirror paper from Tonic Studios. It's been in my stash for a very, very long time. I am using liquid glue to hold everything down because this is not in a page protector. I felt like it needed a little extra adhering, a little extra. It needed a little extra. I'm just going to say that to hold it down. I do feel like when you, especially passing the books around from person to person, the liquid glue is going to hold up a little bit better, especially when you're tucking things in, because even the tape runner tends to kind of pull away if you add too much bulk. But I do feel like my little bags are going to do a really good job because they're bags. They're supposed to hold a lot of stuff, and they've got a lot of room inside of them. I added a little clip to this one that is going in the bottom left-hand corner. I think that's super cute. And at this point, I still have the tag to decorate that is going in the front pocket, or in the pocket in one of the earlier pages. It's in one of the bags at the moment. I'm just checking it out against the blues that I pulled out from the 49 and Market stuff. They're slightly different, but since they're going to be in different pages, I think it's going to be okay. And then I did ink them up just to give a little bit more continuity between all of the different ephemera pieces that I've got going down. And I am liking how this is coming out so far, you guys. While I keep working on this, I want to remind you, Woodgrain in Winter has been going on all month long. There is a playlist link down below in case you've missed any of it. There are some other people that have been playing along with us. I know Mel is playing along over on her channel. I think a couple other people are playing along as well, which I just can't remember off the top of my head who that happens to be. But their links are in the playlist down below, and you can go check out what MK has for you. I'm not sure if she's got a video up for you today or not, but you can check out her channel as well. She's been playing along this month. Also, we have been doing Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I think there was at least one Friday that I did not have a Woodgrain layout, but I did a different layout on the weekend for you. So yeah, you're going to get it here and there. Okay, so now I'm just trying to figure out what's going on that tag, mostly because I accidentally got a little ink at the bottom of the tag. So I was trying to figure out which flower best covered up my little ink mess. And so that's what I was just auditioning flowers there. And then I've got this really beautiful red ribbon that I am using on these tags. And then I've got like a really, I don't even know what this twine is. It's not really twine. It's not really ribbon. It's very soft, but it's kind of thick and chunky and really irregular. And so it feels very like homemade. But I don't know what it's called. I actually got it at a our local creative reuse shop, which is called the Magical Heart. If you are local here, you can go and check that out. She's got all kinds of interesting things that are not necessarily all scrapbooking related. She does have some scrapbooking stuff. She's got a lot of junk journaling stuff. She's got a lot of crafty kind of things in there. So if you're local to my area, go and check her out. You can tell her I sent you, and she might just give you a little bit of a discount on it. But yeah, it's called the Magical Heart in San Jose. And yeah, I found some really fun book pages in there that I've been using here and there on different projects. And that twine or ribbon or fiber. I'm going to call it fiber. The fiber is from that shop. So I really kind of like the juxtaposition of the really beautiful red, rich looking ribbon with the kind of more homey, handmade looking fiber. I think it just looks really cool together. And yeah, it makes my heart happy. So I'm using it. Okay, here I've got my little tag going on. I'm going to put some ribbon in that once it gets dry as well. And then just going to finish up my little bags here before I go. And then I do have some close-ups for you, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. You know, I still have like a minute and a half of video here. I don't even know what else to tell you guys. But yeah, if you are not, if you're somewhere that could travel to Carson City, Nevada, I would recommend checking out the Carson House that is run by Joni. And she is the one who put together this group that is passing around the traveling journals. So the Carson House group on Facebook. She does have a retreat space as well for small groups over in her home in Carson City, Nevada. So quick shout out to Joni. Thank you for putting together this traveling journal project. I really, really am enjoying it. And hopefully you guys are enjoying watching me put these things together as well. You could consider this very similar to a scrapbook page. You could, in fact, put a 4x6 where the door is. You could put 3 4x6 with a flip flap right there. And then you could add photos on top of those bags and put all kinds of journaling and stuff behind and write all about your family traditions. I have left her, the owner of the book, plenty of room for writing things down, for adding more ephemera if she wants to, or more whatever she feels like she wants to write, you guys. I do have a piece that says Simply Magical up in the upper right hand corner, and in the right hand page in the lower left hand corner it says a family tradition. So I tried to keep that on there, but I didn't want to put a big title. I just wanted to keep it kind of simple, and I really like how it came out. I hope that you do too. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. Thank you for spending 30 minutes with me today, you guys. I know it was a really long one. I've left plenty of room there for her to put a photo, or if she wants to do a lot of journaling in that spot where the door is, she could do that as well. Anyway, Again, thanks for spending time with me today. I will be putting up the November one very soon, so come back and check that out if you're interested in seeing more of this traveling journal that I've got going on. And I'm going to be back again in January with more scrapbook layouts. So I will see you then. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.